There came a time when raiding the lands of England and France was no longer enough for the Vikings. They were men who emerged from the mist aboard longships, swift, ruthless, and often gone before a city could even cry for help. But this time, their eyes turned south, toward the shores of Iberia, toward Al-Andalus, in the south of modern-day Spain. A wealthy and flourishing land that seemed far beyond the reach of the warriors of the cold north. For the Vikings, this was meant to be a new adventure, greater danger, richer plunder, and another city to burn. What they did not know was that this journey would cost them dearly. In the year 844 AD, a Viking fleet of dozens of ships moved down the Atlantic coast after striking parts of Iberia. They reached places such as Lisbon, then continued toward the southwestern territories of Al-Andalus. From there, their longships entered the Guadalquivir River and began sailing towards Seville. The river was quiet. The cities along its banks were not. After landing at Cabtil, the Vikings sent several ships toward Córdoba, a settlement on the western bank of the river. For 7 days, they ravaged the area.
Take everything! Burn the rest!
Homes were looted, inhabitants were killed, and many were taken captive. But Córdoba was not their final target.
Which route leads us to Ishbilia, Lord?
Follow the river. Ishbilia is
Ahead
ours.
of them stood Ishbilia, modern-day Seville. The city expected danger to come from the land. Instead, it came from the river. Slowly, dark shapes appeared across the water. Viking longships were advancing up the Guadalquivir, their dark sails cutting through the mist, their decks crowded with armed men.
Hand it over. Everything here
For the
belongs
people
to
of
us.
Seville, this was not merely an invasion. It was a nightmare rising from the water. When the news reached Abd al-Rahman II, the ruler of Al-Andalus, he was furious. Seville had been struck, and the Vikings believed they could do here what they had done elsewhere: attack, plunder, burn, and disappear. But Al-Andalus would not allow them to leave so easily. Abd al-Rahman II raised an army and sent it towards Seville, under the command of Isa ibn Shuhayd. At a place called Tablada, the Andalusian forces prepared a trap, a calculated trap, a patient trap, a deadly trap. They made themselves appear weak and few in number. Then they pretended to retreat. The Vikings took the bait. Confident, eager, and certain that another easy victory was within reach, they moved away from their ships. They pursued what they believed to be a fleeing enemy. Step by step, they were drawn farther from the river and deeper into the killing ground. The Vikings thought they were hunting frightened soldiers. In truth, they had become the prey. Then, near Tejada, the counterattack began. The Andalusian warriors turned on them with full force. The ranks closed, blades were raised, and the Vikings, who had sailed up the river in triumph, suddenly found the road back to their ships covered in death. Around 1,000 Vikings were killed, 400 were captured, and half of their ships were destroyed. The survivors fled back to their vessels and retreated down the Guadalquivir. They had come to Al-Andalus to add another city to the long list of places they had terrorized. Instead, they learned a lesson written in blood. Not every land feared the ships of the north, and some rivers did not lead invaders to treasure. They led them into a trap.